Hello, my name is Stephen Cotton. I am a real estate agent, realtor with Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, Arizona Properties. I get this question a lot, so I thought I'd create a hangout for it. Who pays for what? Who pays for the home inspection? Who pays for termite inspection? Who pays for the warranty? Who pays for the appraisal? Who pays the taxes? Who pays the insurance? Et cetera, et cetera. Let me see if I can figure this out. I'm going to pull up this graphic I found that seems to work out pretty good. So this is me, Berkshire Hathaway Home Services. My phone number, 623-236-5843. My email, sjcotton44@gmail.com. And then my website if you wanted to look at homes. And I keep forgetting to talk about this, but if you know anybody looking to buy or sell a home, please send them my way. I'll take good care of them. So this is the graphic I found that I thought I would share with you guys today. We got ourselves the down payment. That would be the buyer's responsibility. Now the termite inspection is negotiable. We always put the buyer to pay for it, but if I can get the seller to create closing costs, then what I do is we get that taken care of. When you pay off, if you're the buyer, when you write that check, you won't have to pay that part off if we can get it covered in closing costs. Property inspection, that's the buyer. My home inspector will put it at the end of paid at close of escrow. So sometimes, again, if we get enough seller's concessions, we can get that covered as well. Property repairs, the seller, I guess the red versus blue. The reds are the buyers. The fees for the loan, the discount points, credit report, and the appraisal are all the buyer. But let's talk about the discount points. That's if you want to lower your interest, you pay a percentage. The credit report is paid during the whole lending process. The appraisal, that's paid by the buyer. Sometimes if we're worried about the appraisal as a buying agent, we have the seller pay for it up front and we pay it back at close of escrow. So there's ways to do things around here, but this is just for the 95% of transactions how they usually go. Is existing loan payoff is the seller, loan payoff demand is the seller, prepayment penalty is the seller. Next month's PITI. The PITI stands for principal, interest, taxes, and insurance. That would be the buyer. Prepaid interest, the buyer. Oh, I think I just lost you. Where did you go? Let me make sure I'm talking about it here. Let me get back in here. Let's see what happened. Where are we at? All right. Sorry about that. Freaked out on me. All right, flood insurance. Let's go up to where we were last time. We talked about PITI. All right, FHA, MIP, VA funding fee, and PMI premium, all by the buyer. MIP is mortgage insurance premium, and the PMI is, I think, mortgage insurance premium too. But the FHA calls it something different, and the VA funding fee is the buyer because the VA funding fee does not have a principal insurance or you don't have to pay for insurance if you finance it through a VA. Anyways, assessment payoffs or prorations are the seller. Taxes are prorated. It'll show as a buyer or seller credit and a buyer debit on the HUD. Tax impounds, tax services, those are usually paid by the buyer. Interested here. Oh, okay. Interesting. Let's see. Moving down, homeowners association. That's you put it in the contract depending on which side you represent. You have the other one pay for it. If they say yes, you get it. Same with the disclosure fee. You can get that back and forth, get that negotiated, depending on who's representing you. And let's see, prorated the HOA payment. Next month's HOA is the buyer. That's always home warranty is the buyer or seller, depending on how you wrote it in the contract. Some realtors are generous and will give you a home warranty if you ask them. So I would say ask. The worst they can do is say no. If you don't ask, you're not going to get it. And I think that's pretty much true with all of these things here on these closing costs. I like to ask for everything and see what we actually get. The commissions are paid by the seller. Very important to know this as a buyer. You don't have to pay the agent anything. It's the seller that compensates that. Now that is not negotiable. So sorry, sellers. You know that if you list a house, it's typically around 6% or 7%, and you give half to the agent that brings in the buyer, and the other half goes to the agent that marketed the house for you. Let's see, Eagle Homeowners Title Policy. That's the seller. Lender Title Policy is the buyer. So what 28 means is if you bought the house, or if you're selling the house, you're paying for the insurance for the homeowner, and then the buyer is paying for the title insurance for the lender if he's getting it financed. Escrow fees, they're all split unless it's a VA. VA is that fourth column, then it's the seller. Recording fees are all split. Satisfaction fees and courier costs are by the seller unless otherwise indicated in the contract. And there's my info. Because I jarbled this up a little bit. If you had any questions and wanted me to repeat this, I will. All right, I hope that helps. Let me know if you guys have any questions. And thanks.